All right. Good evening, LinkedIn Live. Hey, it's Dave Wilson of the Ring of Hire Show. Tonight's going to be a great show. We're going to talk about a few things: progressive disciplinary action or employment at will. So we'll be right back after this video. Whew, that is always a fast video. Hey, welcome everyone. Hey, Anne-Marie. Hope everything's doing well. She was the first one to chime in here. It's always good to see her. She's my cousin. She watches a lot of the shows, and I appreciate it. Tonight on LinkedIn, I had a lot of messages this week, and some friends and colleagues that were let go unexpectedly, and we were going to discuss about progressive disciplinary action or at will. For a lot of people, don't know that Pennsylvania it's an at will employment state. So what that means is an employer really doesn't have to have a reason to let you go. They can fire you for anything. They don't even have to tell you, really. It's an employment at will, and that's just the way it is. Hey, Rob, how's it going? Rob is in house all the way from Pittsburgh. How's it going, sir? A lot going on with you this week, Rob, I know. But Rob, we were talking about employment at will and progressing every discipline. And, well, we already got Kenny chiming in. Well, look at this one. David Wilson, savor the flavor, awesomeness you serve for sharing your delectable. Man, this guy, goodness, patience, love, hope, courage, tenacity, awesomeness, positively compassion. You the man, sir. God, I tell you, Kenny, I don't even know how you write that in so fast. I'm hoping, do you have it in a template? But these are good guys to connect with. We were talking about at will, and at will, the state does not have to give you a reason to let you go when you're fired. I'm not sure how many companies do that, to tell you the truth. I mean, you normally have a reason, but for them just to come up to you and pull you in an office and say, hey, we no longer need your services, for what, why? And you say they don't have to give you a reason. I don't like it. I mean, I don't know how old this saying's been or how long this law has been in effect. Probably for years and years, because I don't know. At will. I've never heard of barely anybody saying to me they got fired at will, but that's what that is. Some states, they don't have that. A lot more reasons now is because there's too many things that go into the law and labor laws too, that you just can't do certain things. Maybe smaller companies utilize this process. I'm not sure. But when it comes to progressive disciplinary action, a lot of them, it comes down to people management not having the guts that want to have that hard conversation to follow disciplinary actions. Normally in a normal world, Kelly's in the house. Hey, Kelly, how are you? We're going to be talking about a great subject tonight, Kelly, about progressive discipline and employment at will, and basically getting terminated without knowing. Probation versus at will. There's a couple little things like that go along with it. Some places, well, you got 3 months probation that you're on, or at will, or 6 months probation. It can be a lot. There's a lot of different things that companies tell you this. But what it comes down to is it's normally a verbal warning. Let's just say a verbal, a written, right? A written warning, final warning or suspension, and termination. And that's in the majority, I would say. Um, I see Kenny says they just don't like you. Kenny, that's probably one of the things that's the truth. They just won't come out and say that. And I believe in this. I just believe that the management or the team doesn't want that person to succeed. To let somebody go for that reason of 10 years for no reason, I just couldn't see it. I would be livid of what happened. What did I do? Been in the company 10 years and you didn't tell me why. I don't think that happens as much. Maybe it does. I just don't see it. But probation, probation is you got to give the person a chance. And if you're not putting all those tools into an employee that's on probation, now think about it. You're on probation, all right? 3, 4, 5 months to show them you can do the job. Not everyone can jump into that position and be a star for 3 months. No. You need to really put a mentor, put someone with that candidate for those 3 months. Someone that they can go back to and mentor and ask questions like, hey, am I doing okay? Because the worst thing that can ever happen is if you're on a probation, you don't hear nothing for the 3 months, right? And then they call you in and they let you go. That's horrible. That is a company really that just doesn't want to succeed. It doesn't want to hire your employees. Let's see. I know I saw Kelly. I wish every job had a union. Kelly, Kelly, that's a good statement for yourself. I was in a union environment, and I always say union environment. We wouldn't have today in today's world if we didn't have unions back then. We wouldn't have these laws today if it wasn't for a union. And it's great if you're in a union. That's great. Sometimes there's plus and benefits of being in a union. I have good things and bad things about it when I was in it. But that's a different subject there. But, in a union, it is a little bit harder to get rid of someone. In a union, you usually have the verbal, written, final, and then termination. And it's kind of good. I wish it was that way in most of the logistics centers or even some of the manufacturing sites around here. Probation is a preclude to termination. Kenny, I'm going to read that again. Probation is a preclude to termination. I'm going to have to read that one, understand that one good. But if you're a supervisor and or part of a team and you're listening to this, have the conversation. Have the conversation with the employee. If you don't give that verbal warning, this is your chance to and I don't like saying it like a verbal warning the way it sounds, but sit down with the employee. The employee's brand new. If you're into the first couple weeks and you see a sign that employee's struggling, that's on you. That's where you should be able to just sit down and, hey, let's have a conversation. Are you having a hard time? Is there something going on in the job that you're having a hard time with, or you're not meeting your numbers? Are we not providing you enough training? Talk to the candidate in the beginning phase. We got Thurston here. Depending on the company, unions can be good and bad. Thurston, I agree 1,000% there. Oh, of course, absolutely. I concur on that one. And I know what you're meaning there, Thurston. That's the truth. And again, though, we wouldn't have today if we didn't have unions back then. We owe a lot to unions for what we do have for the laws. A lot of stuff was fought for back then, and we have it now. But back to the point about when you start getting your candidates coming in, just because someone might not like that person, right? That first week, right? The person's not getting the hang of it. The person's not doing everything. Sit down, have that verbal warning. You don't have to say it like that. A verbal warning, verbal discussion, right? Talk to them. See if there's a problem. See if there's something that you can change to make that person successful within your company. Because if you're complaining about high turnover, and I see it, Have you done enough to stop it? Have you done enough to, maybe there's some things going on that you don't know about that need to be addressed. A lot of the times, supervisors, new managers, and even older managers do not like to confront or call people in and do disciplinary actions. They just don't like to do it. It's a hard conversation. You don't need HR to do that. Usually it's normal places, verbal, written. Final starts going into where you want to usually bring your human resources department in, letting them to discuss with the employee. But don't assume right away that you want to fire. That's not the only answer. If you don't like that person, take that part about you don't like him or her because she does this, that doesn't mean they're a bad employee. That means you're a bad manager, that you can't work with that person to get them to do the job right. So when you do that first one, right, sit down. That second one, the written warning. Now, the written warning, let me see, we got Christy here. Hey, Christy, how you doing? Accountability is practiced as it should be. And Christy, I'll leave that one right there. That is the accountability. If you're holding somebody accountable and you're following them as they're working, right, and you're doing progression with them, and there's not even a problem to have them sit down and give them a good warning, or not good warning, a good discussion in the beginning. Hey, you're doing really great. We want you to succeed, because again, see if you're providing them the tools for them to really be successful. If you're not providing them the tools, that could be one of the problems. Or you don't want to have that tough conversation, which a lot of candidates, and a lot of new supervisors and managers do not like to do. They'll let it get up all the way to the human resources and let them handle it. And that's not everything. That is not everything that needs to be done. As a manager, you could sit down with your team and try to figure out the problems. We have, hey, Tracy, how you doing? Long time no see. That's a friend here, Tracy. She's a good connection there. She's on Facebook right now. The next part, to let somebody go without the warning, that's, I'm sorry, today's world, I don't believe in it. You've hired that person. You should not just let them go without a reason. I'm sorry. No explanation. They will walk out of that place. They will walk out of that company and say, what did I do? What did I do? Nobody told me anything. You get home, your wife or husband, or which, I don't know, I got let go. Why? I don't know. I don't know it. I don't know why I got let go. Hey, Kelly, thank you. You in today's world, have the conversation with them and let the person know and see if you can correct the action before it goes to the next level. Think of it. If you're looking at employees, let me figure out how to say this. Legal actions, okay? Some places you can't just let them go at will in some states, or even certain things. There's certain things, like if somebody was to be injured, all right, while you're on probation. Some people say, well, they can let you go. And some like, oh, hell no. Workers' comp. There's so many different things that you have to watch for with letting somebody go. If somebody was hurt, when you look at that, right, was it something that could have been prevented from the company? Was it something that the employee did? You know what I'm saying? So you really got to look at different avenues when it comes to safety, workers' comp, letting somebody go during that. Be very, very, very careful, especially if it's not on the candidate side that didn't make the mistake. There's some things that you with legal and with your human resources departments will be able to help you on that. But have that meeting with them. Now, when you get into the written warning, that's where I tell you, I really wish the supervisors, whoever's writing the employee up, right? Whoever is writing that employee up should be in that meeting. Supervisor that's writing that person up needs to be in that meeting, needs to confront that person, needs to sit down and talk to the person in a meeting and have yourself a witness, right? Find out, again, what is going on. It doesn't always have to be negative. You don't have to sit there and, break the ice when they come in a meeting. Maybe that employee's having a hard time. They're new. They're brand new when they start a company. So they're nervous. They might make a mistake here or there, but don't hold it against them if it's something small. So if you've been through the verbal and if they continue to do what you told them not to, then comes the written warning. And yes, the written warning is warranted. I mean, if you're trying to really give this employee a straight path, right? Sit down and ask yourself, did I do everything for him or her? Did I give them the tools to be successful? Is the process broke, right? Do you know that there's a problem with this all the time, that somebody gets written up for all the time? Is there something you can change, right? Keep a level head about it. If you don't like that person, again, take that bias away. Take the bias away. Think about the investment that you're making there right in front of that employee. Right now, you are making an investment in that employee. They have a family. They're there to work. They want to be there. But if there's no guidance, if you don't guide them, if you don't show them, listen, those days of going, and I've been there, I'm telling you from years ago, we don't want that person. We don't like the way they look. What? Those things happened years ago. A lot of that stuff happened. We don't like this person. We don't like the way they look. We don't think they're going to be good enough. You don't know until you get them through a process. Take them through a 4-stage process. And if that doesn't work and you've given everybody the chance, then you can let them go. Now, some might want to be let go. There's your employees. Listen, some of them want to be let go. So take them through the steps. That's just the way it is. You're not going to get away from those employees. But there is some that are just don't pick it up as fast as maybe you did or some of your other colleagues have, right? Tonight's conversation, luckily, I love that, Kenny. You're awesome. And he always says events a court of law. I know, Ken. But it just irritates you because you don't want to just let employees go if you don't have to. When it comes to the written warning, right? Now, that's where it can be a little bit, you're one-on-one now. I mean, now you're telling this person, but you better make sure, give them the tools to succeed. So now it's the third part. Another 2-3 weeks from now, this person's just not getting it. This is where leadership comes in. So you would bring them in, right? And you want to sit down and talk to that person. Ask them seriously, listen, we're going to give you a final warning here. We have to. You could suspend them. You could put them on a PIP, and I'm going to explain what that is. But write it out for them. Write it out, because I'm sure everything that has happened, it's not going to break the bank if you keep that employee and really invest into them for those first 30 days, 30 to 40 days, whatever you want to do, 60. Work with the person. Get that person, in that final warning, say, listen, say, Cindy, Bob, this is it. Listen, I'm giving you the tools here. Look, here's your manager. Here's a mentor. This is how it has to be. Go through all the terms and write it up and have them sign it. They really need to know you're serious at this time, but at the same time, you're there to be their leader and say, listen, this is the final warning before the termination, but please, we want to work with you. We want you to succeed at our company. And if you do this, I can guarantee it's going to work. You're going to work and you're going to turn yourself around. But please come to us as leaders and let us mentor you and let us help you, because the final warning will be termination. Okay. Christy says, a thorough training and development program addresses a lot of the issues that might cause the need to let someone go. Refresher training, continuous coaching makes such a huge difference. Make it fun. You might be surprised. And you nailed it there. This is what I've been trying to say, even is what Christy's saying is there. If you've been stale, and especially sometimes in logistics companies and, high turnover manufacturing, you might not even know you're doing it. Like, why did this person leave? They were in a second warning or something like that, or a written warning, or they just didn't like the way you approached them about it. Listen, the next thing you want to do from there is go back after and just do like a follow-up to say, hey, why did the person leave? Was it something that we could have done to help that employee stay? But the main goal is not that word at will or, probation. Look at it that way, because some people just let them go to work. Excuse me. They'll just let them go to work and forget them. I'm a strong believer in, I really like the word mentor. Mentor, I would believe, if you have a group of 25, 30 people working in it on a project, right? That mentor could be a person that you could just, you're new. You can go up to say, if it was Chrissy, I'm having a hard time. Can you help me? I don't want to go to the supervisor. And those mentors, leads, can really make a difference in a candidate's life. It can really, that not everybody gets it on the job the first couple of weeks. It doesn't. Sometimes it takes a little bit and then kicks in, especially if it's a person that's trying. Let me tell you, if in management, I am sure there's people that have watched this show that can say they've had to let people go that they really did not want to, and I got to say it's happened a lot. A PIP, I'm a firm believer in a PIP program, PIP. And I was on PIP twice. I'm not afraid to say it. I was with a company for a while, and the PIP was designed to really help. Now, if you've got like 10 years in a company and you just got something hard going on, new project, new job, something's coming in, you're not getting it. That good manager, a good manager that knows how to utilize a PIP, and it's there to use it for a good reason, can save your job. They have to put you on a path, on a written path. And as long as you do everything within that PIP, you're going to notice it'll turn your job around. And that supervisor just saved you. Not about saved you from losing your job, but as a leader, that was his or her job to save you. Because if you got 5, 10, 15 years, something could be going on while you're put on a PIP. So don't always take a PIP as being negative, because a lot of people will say, well, I'm done. Well, when you think that way, if you think negative with the PIP, it's going to be off the door anyway. You're going to say, I'm just going to let them fire me. Don't. If you really want to be with a company, the next step is listen. I always say human resources, everybody knows how I feel. Human resources scare the living the hell out of me. Still at this age, right? They're never there just to walk into offices and say, hey, Dave, you're doing such a great job. Come here. No, it can never be that way in all the years. It's always got to be, what we do now. But we're hoping to maybe one day change that stereotype. I always talk to Chris Heckman of Blue Triton, and he always says it great. HR does not know it's broken, so they can't fix it. So there are some things that are going on. If you're working and you feel that you're not getting the level that you should get, right? That you're doing your job, something else is going on. Even if you have a 6-month probation, it could be something where the supervisor doesn't like you, right? And it's known. Supervisors run their mouth sometimes and the word gets out, right? Nothing's a secret. You can tell rumors will really destroy management. If you, as a manager, you need to just zip it or it's going to get out that you don't like that person and you're going to get rid of them because it always gets back around. Hey, we got Bill in the house. Hey, Bill, how's it going, sir? How'd your son make out? Or it's your daughter. Oh, it's your daughter. So there's a lot of different things. The main thing I want to pull apart here is corrective behavior, right? I call it behavior modification. Behavior modification. Wouldn't it be nice to be able to sit back and not just, we got to terminate this person. We got to terminate that person. Well, we got to hire a new one here. It's just a big circle, right? Change the behavior. And if you can do that, and that person really wants to work, you're going to have an employee that's really, really going to stay with you and learn and respect you. And it's going to tell other people. That person that had a hard time is going to tell other people on the team, oh, man, listen, go to the team. They'll work with you. HR, that's supervisor. Because, again, HR, there could be other things going on, harassments, any kind of harassment. Listen, when you got any kind of harassment, please go to HR. Just go to your main supervisor, your HR. When it comes to harassment, you got to take that seriously, and as a supervisor, you want to do that also. But you want to make it a positive probationary period. And I'm going to say it again. Just make it a positive one. Not everybody can do a job like your whole team. You might have 2-3 people struggle. Get them the help they need and get them to turn around. Again, you're going to have people that are just going to press you. They're going to press you. They want to be let go. Then you can just let them go. But on the last note here is what I wanted to say was at will. Again, if people have heard of that before and have seen it happen, I have not. I have not seen somebody just come up and let's fire them at will. I don't know if that's just from years ago saying that, but not as much now. 3 to 6 months probation, get the training. And here Rob says, need training to be successful in your job. Nobody comes off the streets and knows this. Rob, I'll leave that up there right there. That's a well thing that you said there. That's where the management comes in and they need to work with the employees. Firing an employee or terminating her, whatever you want to call it, is not always the answer if they're a really good employee. If they have a good work record, if you're looking at their resume and they got a great work record and they're coming to you and they're having a hard time on this job, man, take that time and work with that person. Because if not, that the cost to bring on somebody else that you just spent all this time, when if you could change their behavior, that sometimes can turn around even on the P&Ls. Probation is a prelude to termination. I love that one. And there's always Stephanie at the end of the show here. Stephanie, thanks. But anybody watching this show, I always give her a plug out. Stephanie she is one of the great resume writers, and she has that trash can on there. You'll see it. She loves to trash the old resumes. But if you want to connect with her, she will write you an amazing resume, and she really knows what she's doing. So when you lose a job, Stephanie's the one you want to see. But Stephanie, it's good to see you. And as always, reach out to her. But on that note, everybody, remember, change the behavior. If you see somebody struggling on your team, and you start hearing people saying, well, we're only going to get rid of them, right? Oh, they're going to get rid of them. You know what? Stand up. Stand up and go over and start helping that employee. Help that employee so not everybody else is watching. Maybe the person's so scared, doesn't know what to do, doesn't know who to ask, has a lot of problems going on at home. Nobody knows what everybody's going through. So at that point, you can always change somebody's behavior by just saying one thing and, hey, can I help you? Can I help you? What do you need help with? I'm here for you. You're going to really have a winner there. So on that note, everybody, thanks so much. Be back on Wednesday. Talk to you soon.